live. I see you're live.
Ladies and gentlemen all around the globe, this is the Global Talkative Series with your host, Lanre Ajayi. It's a platform where we come to have a deep discussion, relate with one another and share experiences, especially based on what is happening in our community, in our nations, and across the world. Now, these are challenging times, and as such, we need workable solutions. We need ideas that are not common, to go through this situation. And on this platform, we are blessed to bring you individuals from all walks of life that will come and share their own experiences and then answer some of the questions. And I don't promise you that we're going to give you all the correct answers or 100% answers, but we can do our own little bit and then add value to your life and then talk through the situation. And then it's going to be a better world for us. So today, like we do it on this show, I have a beautiful, guest, a lovely lady, who's been in this industry of movie, acting, all around. And I'm just going to be bringing her in right now on Instagram. All right,
Hi.
gentlemen.
How are you? I'm going to lower this.
Yeah, a bit. You can just do that a bit. Yeah.
Here we go. How's that?
I think it's not bad. Okay, let me just try and reduce my. Okay, good. All right. So today, thank you for those who are joining. Mahazila, Chris Wright, thank you for joining us on Instagram. And thank you for joining us as well on YouTube. We are coming to you live from our studio here at the Global Talkative Series studio. We are reaching from Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram all at the same time. Thank God for the power of technology. So before we go into today's question and answers and discussions, I want to give you a brief background about our lovely guest today. She's Jill Maria. And I'll read a brief short bio about her. Jill Maria has had over 11 years of indie makeup artistry, acting, producing, and media experience. The rising Romanian Jewish-born Canadian is a proud new CSFI member, Canadian Academy member of, and WIFTA, Women in Film member. Jill Maria is known for a principal acting role in Vivi on the Canadian TV series Goldfish on Amazon Prime in 2015. She has been seen on Heartland on CBC, Young Drunk Punk, Fargo TV series, Klondike, Extremity 2108, Interstellar, Mountain Men, Land 2020, Jasmine Road 2020, Fortunate Son 2020, Miracle in East Texas 2020, The Great Fair, City Palace Commercial, Felipe Alvaro Latin music video. Most recently, Jill Maria is promoting 4 projects right now. Paul J. Chinook's February Dog and Moments in Spacetime by Patty Colden, Assassin's League series by Corey Smith, and Miracle in the East Texas by Kevin and Sam Sorbo. She likes to use her platform to speak out about workplace conduct and encouraging respect among all people within the film industry. She enjoys speaking about mental health awareness with February's Dog platform. Our long-term goals are to support and make a bio family of over 14 years in Romania, develop on film, going to Romania and supporting women in need charity with our documentary friend Daniela Copsey Apostate of Destiny Predictions. Along with her acting dreams, she does PR, photo, writing, most recently Reiki classes with Natasha Mott and acting classes with Universal Talent Film School during this lockdown. Now, it's been a tough but busy year for Jill Maria, focusing on her film career. She feels she's coming into her own as an artist and enjoying creating her own project with Typhoon TV, as Jill is seen on the screen, and several other beautiful, accompanied by Jill. So, welcome, Jill. How are you today?
That was quite the introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh my goodness.
You're welcome.
Thank you for having me on your show. I'm excited to talk about what you're looking to talk about. And what you said in my bio is totally true. Those are the things I'm really up to right now.
Good. And by the way, today's topic is the shape of things. How do we go from here? And I must say that Jill also is a publisher of the magazine I'm Here With magazine, So the topic of today's discussion is the shape of things. How do we go from here? Now, before we go into that, let me ask, how you doing, with all these pandemics, around, we have the coronavirus pandemic and the racism pandemic that is ravaging our cities and nations across the world. So tell me, how you been doing?
What have I been doing? Been
Oh,
watching your
great.
show.
How you been doing?
I've been tuning
Yeah,
into your
thank you.
show. I've been enjoying all
Thank you.
the Instagram and Facebook shows that have popped up recently as well. I've been, not being able to put out the magazine in print. So that affected the business for me and holding people's stories out in print, which they're looking forward to. So we've just been tweaking the next issue. And we have Jordan Gooden, who is half Jamaican, on my cover. I'm really proud. We decided that about a year ago. And I'm of Romanian descent and Jewish background as well.
Okay.
And, I'm always fighting for the topic of, even today, I posted on my social media to support all ethnicities in film.
All right.
And I really believe that to give chance to everyone, and wherever they are, not just Calgary or Vancouver.
Cool. So I want to welcome Vimbai Mukumba, Sarah 03037 for joining us. Thank you for joining us. Well, Basharon Folashade and also Tumi Ajayi, and also watching us live right now. So let me start by saying, what is your relationship with Calgary? In your bio, you said something about Romanian Jewish. So
I'm everywhere, yeah. Well, my thing is that I started on a show called Go Fish that was a passion project, but also started my career back in 2013. I was a lead on it, and that was by a foreign Syrian gal named Zuli Al-Nahas. And she kind of turned me on to loving acting, and I got to play a character very similar to myself, trying to find love, a very Rachel and from Friends character. The show is about 4 or 5 girls in Calgary who are of ethnicity. And we did this in 2013. We thought about this idea, wanting to be able to cast ourselves as leads and being able to be who we are, not having to be, more white than we really are, and being able to share all the beautiful cultures that are within film. So I'm really proud that I started my career off in that format, unknowingly of any issues that really going on in that day, like there are right now. And I feel so sorry for everyone having to go through all this right now. It's a terrible time. And I'm an ally to Black Lives Matter, and anyone who is of ethnicity, I hear you, because I've been called the worst things before, with being misconstrued as, when I was younger, I looked very Indian. And I got called mean names from that a lot. And it's just, it really affects your self-esteem. And I'm still trying to find my own, and I am proud to be my own. I'm adopted. So I've always lived in a weird world where I don't get to be Romanian. I don't get to be Jewish. I've always been what my parents were, which was Scottish, and my dad's Spanish. So he kind of looks like me. He always looked a bit like me because of our dark features. But, within the culture, I did public schools. I grew up in a Christian background, and I was always the most foreign person there that wasn't Black. In schools, same thing, so it's just like the experience that you guys have to go through every day. Sometimes people who are not always of just one look, or if they're non-denominational, or people don't know what you are, then they want to question it, and you get put in a box. And I've been in my own box for a while, and it's been hard, but I'm an ally to, I live in Calgary, and I travel a lot to Vancouver, and I'm trying to put up all ethnicities, all walks of life. I work with CBC, and I promote a lot of big shows, and it's just been everything has come full circle in my life, from just connecting from this one show to now doing my own magazine, putting up my network of Canadian stars as much as I can. And I'm just here to support like anybody else, I hope.
Wow, that is amazing. Trying to support your own, and not just your own, everybody. Bringing that thing to when we talk about inclusivity and diversity, and that is what I see you're doing, promoting. Not necessarily somebody that but someone who is creative enough, to be promoted. You're doing that, and thank you for making that happen. So, since you've been in Calgary, how has the experience been so far in regards to your industry?
I feel like, if you want to say, there's roles to be had. There's algorithms within film of what they want people to be from and what they want them to look like. And sometimes, I get categorized as dark or whatnot, which Romanian is its own ethnicity. And it's not really, it's not at all considered Caucasian. And the worst of it in that sense is was from a very poor family and gypsy background, which means, people, even my own culture does not like it. But I'm adopted. I never grew up in that lifestyle or anything. At 3, I was adopted from Romania. But it's just kind of like my experience within the Calgary industry. It's been hard to get cast for sure. And I would love to see more roles and writers wanting to write about topics and have characters that are not just from Alberta look itself. So that'd be nice. That's something I'm kind of trying to fight for since this topic has been open right now. So it's been really, you couldn't talk about it before. You couldn't talk about race at all. Especially if you are foreign, then they want to say, whatever they want to say about it, because it's from our perspective, right? So it's not from theirs, but it's a whole thing that people are going through right now. And I'm just hoping that we can all come together.
Yeah, thank you very much. So talking in terms of your publications, your work, your career, how has this COVID-19 pandemic, slow you down, affect you? How has it so much affect your work?
Well, I'm a people person, so I love to be able to actually see them. Depending on my lighting, I like in person. I think I look better. Just kidding. But I miss seeing people. Yeah. So that's affected being able to do photo shoots, being able to do live interviews, being able to audition. Everything's really changed and halted, but I've been working really hard behind the scenes of paperwork for moving forward with my business, with publication work I have to do, with sending out audition tapes as well with Platinum Talent out of Calgary. It's just been, busy, but not as fulfilling as I used to be, right? When all the events are closed and I've missed a few. I wanted to go to the Canadian Screen Awards in Toronto in the end of March and kind of meet all the people I've been supporting in Toronto and CBC. So I didn't get to do that, and I was definitely saddened. But by next year, I'm hoping things get better and people are healthier and the lifestyles and the economy is a little bit better, right?
Yeah.
So I've been affected for sure, and not being able to work at all.
Okay. You mentioned that you are with Platinum Agency, right?
I have, since I've started. I work with a few other people outside of Calgary as well. I'm always a connector and know a lot of people within the industry, casting people, people who are making projects, producers. I'm friends with a lot of producers. Doesn't mean I get cast just from that, though. It's always like about the character and if I fit, which I don't many of the times because I'm look the way I do. But it's, I do a lot of PR for people as well. When I can't be a part in the project, I do PR for them anyway because they need what I'm offering to profile people the way I do. That's also, shared with the network of Alberta and Calgary Film.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, I have a question from someone. It's actually, the question is about our life experience. She's a new immigrant who came into Calgary, a couple of months ago, or by a year ago, and she fell into the wrong agent's hands. In the sense that he loves to act, do
It happens.
Movies and all of that. And then she was actually looking out for a reputable agent to represent her, to get her some jobs. And then she ended up, falling to the ranks. And because I got to know, she told me the story herself. And then the question is, how do you navigate the terrain of getting the right agent to represent you? So because I said it's platinum, and then maybe you can share your own story, so that those who are just coming into the system, like Canadians in Calgary, how can they navigate that terrain and get the right access to the right agents?
Right. Okay, guys. I am a publicist and I am big into connecting with the right people. So my advice for all of that is when you start your dream of wanting to be an artist and being out there, there's some work you need to do before you even put yourself out there. There are websites and accounts for acting that you need to be a part of. There are headshots that need to be taken that are proper, standardized, the way it looks, so then the people from casting know that you know what you're doing. There's also classes that you need to take. I was even looking myself, and I've been in the industry for like 8 to 10 years within makeup and acting. And Vancouver, has even a 4-month program, Vancouver Film School, for just acting for TV and film. Like people really should go to school for it. There is Rogues Acting School in Calgary by Joe Normanshot. There is Universal Talent Film School. There is classes that Platinum Talent and Degas, and also, there's also information to be researched before you get into the industry. Like who's who, you should really look at Calgary Film page on Instagram. They do the Calgary Film International Film, and they do an award show. It's international, the Calgary Film Festival. So if you go to their website, if you go to CSIF, Calgary, that's also on Instagram and Facebook, and join them, and they have resources beyond. Like Katie Wackett is, hopefully I said her name right, is amazing. And you just ask different groups. You get on social media, on Facebook, there's many actor groups for wherever you are in the world to join and to know about auditions. There's Actors Access, there's Actors Network, Casting Workbook, Agency Click. There's the Alberta, film website that has all the information, and ACTRA, which is Calgary and Alberta based, and then BC is something different. But all the information that you need about who's making the film, when, what's coming to town is all on the ACTRA website. And all of the agencies that are on there, they give reference to different agencies. So if you really want to be an artist, do your research first to find out how you fit in, what your talents are that you want to put out, what's special about you, and highlight that, share that on your social media. With finding an agent itself, you really need to go to these event parties for ACTRA and the union, until you really get into them, can't really get to them. But like the Calgary International Film Festival, the Okotoks Film Festival, any festivals that are happening with Calgary, Edmonton, Alberta are really good to join. That's how you join a community. You're not just joining film to be on TV. This will become your life. These people will be your colleagues, and you'll succeed with them. It's, it takes, like me, 10 years to really become where people say to me, like, oh, people know Jill. Like, I don't know what that means. I'm a little worried. Just kidding. But it's just a step to be taken properly. It's not, it's a whole life. Yeah.
Yeah, yes, the whole life, the whole of work, to make it happen. So you have to put in a lot of work. I want to appreciate our audiences who are watching us around the globe. Dolapo Nosanya, Ilori, Oladi Olabi, Tomi Ajayi, Chinaza Ozuge, BC Adele Jaguno, Bastion, Falashadi, MKZ Best, Mo009. Thank you all for joining this conversation. Our guest today is Jim Maria, actor and the publisher of I'm Here With magazine. And our topic today is the shape of things. How do we go from here? Now, as a publisher, what are the things that you need? Let me ask the question, what inspired you to become a publisher? How do you just start writing, so because some actually love to write, but they are not thinking how do you go from just being a writer to become a publisher? What are the steps and what inspire you to go in that direction?
Whatever level it is, it doesn't matter, big or small. A blog that you start to Facebook kind of show that you could create. All that matters is that you have your idea, and that if you were talking about writing, when you write, to put it to word, have pictures along with it if you can, if that's your style, or if it's a podcast, you put it to audio. But all the content that you have, you can do so much with it. With a story that you make on paper, you can put it to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you can make it all, and in each platform you use, you kind of write differently, right? But if you do have that skill to write, which is so important, without it, you can't even do a script, then you kind of open your mind. Like I said, you need to add groups. So if you're a writer, then you need to find people that want to put it out there. And that means people who are producers, other writers, and filmmakers, and production companies. For real, if you have a good script, if you're at that level, you send them, you go on IMDb, you Google production companies in Alberta. You message them your cover letter and your resume, an example of your writing, the links to who you are. Hopefully you've built a few things that people wrote about you maybe, and can share who you are from a different, view. But, if you haven't got there yet, just see what you can do, because maybe down the road when you send it to them again and you've built yourself, they'll say yes this time. Yeah. But submit yourself is what you should do. If you have something that you want created, there's so many production companies, indie and professional, that would love to hear from you, or just to introduce yourself to them. And also, you submit online to groups that you see people are asking for writers. There's always that need. But what I did with it was, we really needed media for the show Go Fish. And it's been so long since we did it, and I still talk about it like it's yesterday. But I take a lot from it, and it was my first. But we really needed media. So I created it myself. And I already was promoting other people because I talk a lot. And started a blog. And just came up with the name however I came up with it. I don't even remember really. It's just a noted kind of thing that most reporters say, like, hey, I'm here with Lanre. Like, they always just like say it like that. And no one coined it, so I did. And then I just started doing it. Maybe not that great. I'm not the best writer there is, that's for sure. But with publication, you have to connect with marketing groups. You have to connect with distribution companies, and you make deals with them, and then they say yes to. So you kind of like create your own publication, and then you submit it to them, and then hopefully they accept it. Like, there's rules and guidelines and lots of money you need to spend. I spent over 40 grand to make the first issue itself. I do not make any money back. I put everything to the magazine itself. It's not easy doing it solo as a woman, especially, and still fairly young. So I kind of don't get that appreciation. Sometimes I think I need to be a little bit older to get any accolades or get that, like, oh my God. But I know that what I do with the magazine really helps people's careers who are in it, and they use it as a really good basis to be seen nationally in chapters, but also within the community online. I'm here with mag.com.
Yeah, thank you very much. Still on the Global Talkative series with Gil Maria, actor and publisher of I'm Here with Mag. Simon One, thank you for joining us from Nigeria. Ria D, thank you for joining us from Calgary. Atelier Artistia, Bunny, thank you for joining. Eniola Fayoshe, the CEO of Old Naftali Company from Nigeria. Thank you for joining. Mole Ayoshagun from Vancouver. We appreciate you all for joining. We thank you for.
Thank you. I love that
discussion. It's a global talkative series, and we have guests from all around the world. Now, talking in terms of your publication.
Yeah.
You mentioned something about writing or sending your writing samples to IMDb. Posting your writing. Now, is there a guarantee that sending out your writing, your publication is safe? What if?
Oh, right. Well, yeah, that's a thing. Oh, that's a thing. That's why I said it's good to send out who you are to the publication and build a relationship with them, and you show them a piece of work. You don't send them your whole script and let them take that idea or whatever. Things can happen. Yeah, for sure. You got to protect yourself with NDAs. So you can Google that and find a good template for it even, and put what you want to say about everything. Make that ironclad always that they can't take it under no circumstances without your whatever. But yeah, with anything, even acting, you guys, there's so many casting groups that you could just submit a nice email saying, hey guys, I just want to introduce who I am. Maybe you've never seen me. Agents are supposed to do that really for you. Yeah. But if you find that, no one's really biting at the bit because there's not enough roles, then that's where you get online and you kind of do it yourself and you research. That's honest to God. A lot of the projects I've been in are from Edmonton. That are going big places. Hot Box by Brandon Rhinus and Julie Whelan. There, and there's a few Moments in Space and Time was out in Edmonton and Cold Lake. And I've had to go outside my circle a lot to find my success for acting, which is for me. And, the PR company itself, that's just very alongside my career that I offer help when I'm working with people. A lot of the time I'll do it pro bono. These days, I'm not as much doing that and only have a few clients at a time, so I can really focus on them. Yeah. But, it's just a fun venture to create your own. If you want something, then just do it yourself. Google it. I started off Googling everything because no one was listening to me. And I'm kind of different and quirky and goofy and foreign as well. So it's my look doesn't always work for everything. And I just felt like being behind the camera, I felt like was very different. That's something I've never really talked about, that when I'm behind the camera or behind the writing of my magazine, people can't really judge. They don't know I'm a gal, hey guys, they don't know who I am. They just see my work. And they say CBC, big companies like Tarot PR, I work with them a lot and I put out their press kits and get to interview their people, and I've built tons of relationships from that, and people wanting to work with me because of that as well. But I always focus on local, and the people that I'm working with is who I try to put up the most. That's right. I try to put up the indie people because they're the ones that need it the most.
Yeah, cool. Now that's amazing. Talking in terms of getting the right individual in your magazine. Now the question I have is this. You've been in the industry for about 11 years, and you mentioned you've been in Vancouver, Edmonton, you get some of the jobs out of Calgary, even though you are in Calgary. Now, is that something, because I've been in Vancouver and, out of Calgary to be on movie sets, what can we do, as a city to attract? Yeah, what do you think in your own experience working over 11 years period? How can we attract, this kind of production to our city?
It's just what it is, you guys. To make it outside of your own city that's when you're going to get your own city to say, okay, there's something. It just is how it is in film for some reason. Being local to whatever city you are, you get called local. So once you go outside the city, then people kind of open their mind to the idea because you're telling them that, hey, I'll travel. So by the act of doing it, you're already telling them. You know, by being on set and saying, hey, I'm on set, you're telling people this is what I do. So it's kind of like actors are very obvious of what our intention are. If you're not acting, it's either because you can't get a job or you don't want to, taking time off. But usually if it's a good script, most actors will come out of hiding and do it. Like, look at The Irishman. He got the main boys from all those like good casino movies and stuff out. Yeah. So it's all about motivation and who they want to work with and the message that, you know, that they're sharing or whatnot. And that relates to, I think, anything that you're doing. If it's not even in film, people want it to be authentic to them and be a part of something they're proud of.
Yeah, cool. So what can you say? Are we there yet?
Right.
In this industry, in Calgary or Alberta, are we there yet? Because looking at Vancouver, you know, and some other provinces, you know, compared to before going, you know, to, you know, LA or other part of North America, in terms of what we're doing in Alberta, are we there yet? You know?
Well, you know, how much money we get from the government or whatnot is not sustaining us here. Obviously, there's been a lot of news with how that happened with Luke Azevedo and his group talking about what's going to happen for the film industry here. We had Black Summer here before COVID, and we had another project being produced by Brad Pitt or something, I think, with some big stars coming. But I don't know what's going to happen now. I just find that comparatively, there's not as many projects filmed here, which ultimately poses a problem of not enough people are having jobs. Yeah. You really need to be in the union to be a working actor and a working paid well crew member as well to keep going in the industry. I really suggest to people to try to get a part of the union as quick as they can, because my career is one of indie. I'm the one that makes my own career. I connect with people all the time and kind of do it myself and just show them, hey, here's my resume. I hope you like it. You know, and then one day they call you and they really need somebody who looks like you or something. But that's kind of been my path, is very indie. I'm not ACTRA. As hard as I try in life, it doesn't seem to be. But I'm in other groups, like the Canadian Screen Awards, the Canadian member. It's kind of like SAG for Canada. Yeah. I am a part of that as an actor because of all the stuff I've done that's aired on theater and TV.
Okay.
So that's exciting, but I can't get ACTRA. But one day is the dream for me. Yeah, but there's also like CSIF, like it said, Calgary Independent Society of Filmmakers.
Yeah.
I think you're a part of that too, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we met. Like, I've seen you on set so much. I think we have the same agent, and we're always background and being kind of used as, you know, non-denominational, like background scene on screen. And, you know, I've had enough of that, to be honest with you. I think like I'm ready to go back to being a lead actor, or, you know, there's more training that I'm doing these days. I suggest people who are like on our wavelength of saying, okay, no, I want to stand up and I want to be a face for my people, you know. That's great.
That's great. Yeah. That's the dream of every career-focused individual in this industry. You don't want to be, you know, a background, you know, actor all your life.
Some people do, you know. Some people love it, you know. But it depends on how much training you have. It depends on how much drive you have. It depends on if, you know, Rhonda Fasecki, if she's, you know, you do a good audition, you don't mess that up, and then you never get seen again, like me. But it's kind of like, it's a small industry and everybody talks and everyone has point of views and everyone kind of says what they think about everybody, and you kind of get pigeonholed into something for some reason at times. But I think if you just align yourself with the right people, which means researching yourself, or reflecting for yourself, and then knowing where you fit into the industry. Because sometimes people, I think, get the wrong misconception if that, you know, they want to be a star and they want to get in there. And I always say, like, it takes time. because they're not going to put people up as stars until they really made it, or unless the role really calls for that person, there's nobody else, and then they get like that lucky streak. Like I felt I was lucky being in Go Fish and getting offered a lead role. You know, she gave me lots of opportunity, but we trained a lot for like a year since I'd met her, like a year beforehand. So there's a lot of prep work done that people don't know about, to make things happen like that for yourself. But it can happen. I always say, like, guys, if I can make it in any format, you know, and be in a movie that's out there on Amazon and Netflix, and, you know, like I've been seen too many times, you know, as a background. But I just kind of take what comes my way. But nowadays I'm going to be more strategic about the roles I choose, and just being really influenced by people like Vanessa Morgan of CW's Riverdale, kind of shouting out to that of her people. And I feel like, you know what, I want to do that for my European people who watch me as well. So there's a lot of change going on, and people are feeling different about everything, I think, and I'm excited to see where people are going to go.
And definitely it's going to happen. You know, the word is being strategic in the kind of role you want to play. And, you know, before getting to that point, you know, you mentioned something about working, you know, behind the scene, putting all the energy. People always see the end product. They want to be a star, but before you become a star, there's a start.
A star is
a star, there's a start. You have to start from somewhere. It's like before you see the glory, there's a story behind.
I love that saying. Do not forget that saying. Before the glory, there's a story.
Yes. Because, you know, like I said, you want to be a star, but before becoming a star, there's a start, a beginning. So you can't just come up, I'm Brad Pitt, I'm, you know, Jennifer Lopez, I'm Angelina Jolie. You got to check their background history and see where they've been, what they've done. They've got a lot of rejections and said, but eventually, one day, the opportunity came, and then, bam.
But they were ready. That's the thing. When people are becoming a star or whatnot, or already one, it's like they got themselves there. I don't, you know, I'm really into, you know, opening your minds to doing marketing for yourself and having proper representation, like a good, reputable representation, including like PR.
Yes.
It doesn't hurt to have PR that's not, you know, that's in LA, because that's where we all want to be seen anyway. And I do find that LA's information and what's going on in their world trickles down to Canada quite a bit. We're very influenced and see their media a lot more. I think what could change a lot for people, you know, is media and putting themselves out there and sharing their story.
That's amazing. Thank you so much. This is still the Global Talkative Series, and I'm hanging out with Jim Maria, actor and publisher of I'm Air with Magazine. And today's topic is still the shape of things. How do we go from here? Now, while reading your bio, you said something about, you know, Romanian, Jewish, all of that, adopted and all of that. I can imagine, you know, growing up here in Calgary with being a person of color. And
I will, yeah.
I know you must have had your share of own experience about racism and all of that. Do you want to share just one of the experiences with us?
I will, you know, like I don't, I'm Romanian. I'm not black. So I, you know, and I have fairly light skin, which is something that I really wish that cultures, even myself, I'll tell some stories here a little bit. I wish that cultures just had this mindset of being lighter is better. I don't like that at all. When I was young, I was affected by it, hon. Like I have literally done so many things that I've heard stories of trying to be more white. You know, I'm always trying to straighten my hair and look like Megan Fox or something, you know, and have this kind of look. Because when I just do my look natural with wavy kind of all over the place, I didn't do myself up today very much, but I used to try to bleach my skin.
You look amazing.
Oh, it's the lighting. But I used to try to bleach my skin You know, when I was young, hitting puberty, you know, and just like girl had hair everywhere because she's, you know, like that's how it is when you're young, and wanting to be lighter. And I used to like literally like hide in the bathroom by myself and like just like pour and like let bleach be on me.
Wow.
And I would, because I was a lot darker when I was younger. I feel like it worked, honest to God. Sadly, but I would look super Indian or Greek or, you know, something that wasn't so pinnable. So like even in grade 1, you know, I was like put in the section of the foreign kids, you know, and I was like super foreign when I was young. I couldn't even speak English very well. And I was really odd and like behind the time and kind of mentally behind the time. I went through a lot to get there. And I was told that I was pretty much the IQ of somebody who had a full-blown mental capable mindset. Wow. So it's just been like, I got treated badly in school by teachers who didn't like that I'm Gypsy Jewish. Even my own culture, I'll say that right now. I love my Romanian culture. I'm still learning. I'm trying to find my family in Romania one day. Making strides always with trying to support women who are like, you know, in orphanages and have nowhere to go after. That's kind of a goal of mine, to try to support that with a group that's in Romania now. But I just feel kind of like, as a young woman, you always look to the TV and decide, oh, I want to be lighter because, you know, that's what all the stars are. And, you know, there's a lot of Jewish stars that are very light, you know, because it's mixed, you know, but I'm literally from Romania. I was born there, from 2 Romanian Jewish gypsy family of 12 and too many kids to take care of. So I got adopted by my journalist parents, who were seeing about the news that adoption was opening up in Romania because of their communism and all that stuff fell down in 1991 or whatever. I'm not sure what's going on now, to be honest. Still learning. But that kind of stories of like being foreign, but not being so obvious that when you talk to me or kind of look at me, I've just been, you know, bullied. I was always, what was it, like sporty spice or considered like in groups, you know, when like kids get together and they're like, hey, you're this girl and you're this one. I'd always be the one who's the foreign one, or the representation of the Black character in there. I'm just so used to being on the side of being foreign. When we got into the industry, Zuli and I'll tell you, the Black community supported us more than anybody. Wow. More than anyone.
That's amazing.
And I was so proud of that. And I've had a real integration with enjoying artists that are of color. They seem to understand, you know, the struggle, or accepting you. Like they accept you almost more. Like a lot of foreign people that I meet treat you so graciously and say, what can we eat? And they just have like a different culture or whatever. And I've been treated kind of badly for sure, but when I'm the odd one out and not from here or whatnot, but you know, I deal with it. I just own it. And I go, yeah, guys, I'm different, Romanian, whatever. But it's still something that you feel kind of like, you know, you're not going to get a seat at the table always because it's not your people or whatever.
All right. Wow.
Things happen, you know. Every culture is discriminated against differently. With what your culture is going through right now, it's just like, oh, maybe people weren't educated or something in this day and era, or maybe for the generation that are teens that never really learned about it. Now they're just learning and stuff, and it's just sad that you guys are having to re-go through everything and still go through it. And, you know, it's a sad thing to see.
Yeah, it's sad. Thank you so much for that clarification. I'm so sorry for all what you have to go through while you're growing up. It's I can imagine, you know, young girl, you know, innocent, but you're in the same class with these other girls or boys, and then they're picking on you, you know.
And they pick you on you because you're different. That's the only thing. And it's kind of like that needs to be taught through the parents in school, like that. not to pick on somebody for just being different. That's so basic. I'm like, can't think of anything else. Like,
That's amazing. That's something. The Boho Goddess, thank you for joining us. Ruby Falvi, thank you for joining. Chika Odumegu Eze, thank you for joining. Adesoji John Lanre Ajayi, Silva D. Ajayi, and Dr. Olayiwola Ajile from Birmingham, UK. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you. This is still the Global Talkative Series. And I'm here with Jim Maria Robinson, the actor and the publisher of Amir Magazine. And our topic today is the shape of things. How do we go from here? Now, it's no longer news about the issue of the pandemics that is ravaging the world. I was speaking to a journalist, Joe Selick, like day before yesterday, and I said there are two major pandemics ravaging our world now: the coronavirus pandemic and the racism pandemic. And we both have a share of racism. So coming to Canada and Calgary, we've heard about systemic racism. What do you think that our leaders should be doing, in terms of addressing this issue of systemic racism? Because we have it. Can't deny that.
Well, I think Trudeau was trying to, in the last little while, say, how wrong it is. I think he just needs to keep putting that in the mindset of everyone. He's like the most looked at person. I think the heads of everything, companies. I am glad to see that a lot of companies are posting that they're with you guys and all this stuff. But that needs to be done across the board, and action needs to be taken for that. I'd like to see some headlines of CEO of Universal is now a Black woman. I'd love to see something cool like that. But it's kind of stuff like that needs to be said. I think Oprah's doing a good job with talking about it as well. I'm looking to the States a lot for the message to be trickling down. But it's just hard when you're not of ethnicity. It's really hard to talk about it because it seems like it's almost like they don't mean it, or they're not going to understand it. And it's just something that that shouldn't divide us, but it's just something that people should realize, guys, it's not the same life experience, and you can't pretend that it is. Just being different just makes a different life. That's all. But it doesn't mean it's good or bad, but it's like, you can't know what somebody's life is unless you step in their shoes.
Exactly.
So I don't know exactly how people can make this actual change, but it has to be within, that it's taught that it's not acceptable to do and behave on racism in any format. So it's kind of like a new generational thing that needs to be taught within the kids. And, I think protocols of sexual harassment, there needs to be exactly the same for racism. Sometimes the subtle things, you guys, is the worst parts, because then they think they can get away with it. People will throw out being Jewish jokingly, because a lot of people don't know that. And I don't really say it, to be honest, but I feel like, hey, Hollywood, if you're listening, I am Jewish. Canadian Jewish Romanian gal, but it's something I've never really talked about because I was embarrassed. My whole life I have been embarrassed to be who I am.
Wow.
Somebody different. I wanted to just be Canadian, and I didn't even know what that was. It's like people would look at me like, you are not Canadian. Like, who are you? Because I did look quite different. Like I said, I've really groomed my look to be very of what they're looking for on camera, or what I think they're trying to look for. Because when I walk in the room being just me, it's like, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. So it's like that kind of stuff I've experienced, but not as bad as anybody. Of course, I don't compare even stories of what have happened to people. It's just their journey, and it really shapes you, who you are. So I understand that feeling bad about yourself when you shouldn't be feeling bad about yourself. Why are they putting this on you? Because their racist parents told them they're lower or whatever, Being
Thank
born and not speaking the language as well is a big thing too.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. Our viewers, we've got about 10 minutes more before we go to the next question. I want to appreciate Georgia Adeoluwa from South Africa joining us, on this show. Abudu Oluwayemisi from Nigeria, thank you for joining. We appreciate you. RKN Work. Thank you for joining. We appreciate you so much. This is still the Global Talkative series. Here with me, Lanre Ajayi, and my guest is Jim Maria, actor and publisher. I'm here with magazine, and our topic today is the shape of things. How do we go from here? Now, we've seen a lot of protests, going on and ongoing, and we hope that this brings about a radical change, a total change, as in a real change, this time around, because we've had cases of killings, before that there was a bit of riot, a bit of protest, but this time around, it is gaining traction. And I think this is a wake-up call for all our leaders and all our community, individuals, everybody, who are in the ends of affairs to sit tight and take this serious, because we've had this enough. I was talking to some group of artists earlier today on a Zoom meeting, and they're saying, you know what, I'm just tired. I'm tired. One even
fighting.
Said that, one said that, I'm tired of going to protest. I've been to several protests that it is time for the white folks to go protest for us. It
is a bit odd to see that, but I think they're showing support. I do. I think it's good because it's making traction and awareness, but it is odd to see more white people in the streets than it is the people they're fighting for. But maybe that's just Alberta, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all over the world, in Bulgaria, in Spain, in Australia, and London.
Showing their support, yeah.
Yes, I think it's time for us to, take the bull by the horn and tell it how it is. There's racism all around, whether systemic or, real racism, it is. And I hope that our government and those who are in the ends of affairs are listening and they're making necessary adjustment. Before we round up today, what kind of word of advice do you have for aspiring, publisher to be or actress to be? What kind of advice do you want to give them?
It's like from me, oh geez. Just go with your own path, because I suggest my career path is not the way to go, you guys. I just did it like the opportunities that came to me, being who I am. The people that, said yes to supporting me. A lot of the things I've done have come at an organic pace and out of a need and asked. It wasn't really out of like, hey, I want to be out there. It wasn't the dream that I thought would even happen. It kind of fell into me like it was meant to happen. I do feel like my story that I love about, being Romanian and all this stuff. I love to be an example of somebody who's a foreigner that can make it in Canada. I'm hoping that other people who see that aspect of me go, okay, yeah, she did something with her life. But I think it doesn't matter how big you make it or on social media or anything. It's about how happy you feel inside. And I think the most happiness you'll feel is when you tell your parents or your family, like things that you've accomplished, that was your dream. And sharing that is really nice, and to not, forget that part, and to share it with others, and to really research and to go the path that works for you. There's all the information in the world out there, and choose the people that you connect with to help you, that you want to ride this career with for the rest of your life.
Cool. Now, in closing, is there a specific or a particular project you're working on now that is coming out soon?
Yes, thank you for asking that. And shameless self-promotion. February's Dog has been a passion project that is leaped into my professional life now because of where it's going. And Paul Chinook is just somebody that I've really learned from this past while, and we're kind of going it together with Quinn Teachma. It's a movie about mental health and how these two characters, Emily by Quinn Teachma and Paul, who plays Dale, and how they get affected by mental health and job loss. Wow. It's really, really relevant, and it talks about male mental health a lot as well. And we've started a mental health podcast stemming from the movie because of the talk that it brought up through social media. So we're putting that on Roku so people can search on their smartphones and find Let's Talk Mental Health. And we'll be letting everyone know on the February's Dog page as soon as that is up and premiered. So it's still in the works, you know, putting it up there, but we're really excited about that. And Moments in Space Time by Patty Cowden and Chris Cowden out of Edmonton. I got introduced by a good friend, Tyler Duffy, and was in, two scenes. And same thing with the February's Dog. I'm in 2 scenes. And then I'm seen on screen in a really big movie called A Miracle in East Texas with Sam Sorbo and Kevin Sorbo. He was Andromeda star or whatnot in Hercules. It was amazing to meet him in person and his wife.
That was on that set.
That it's already been out in festivals and been seen, and friends of mine in LA have seen it and said they saw me. And it was like really exciting to be a part of a big project like that. You're in it. Are you background? Yeah. Or your team?
Kevin Sobo and John Ratzenberger.
Right.
Yeah. So
were you on the day that I was, or what day were you on?
I can't remember. I was on like 3 days back to back. You know, I was part of those who were working, you know, before the horses, they were going to the rig, you know, before there was a shaking on the rig.
I don't think I was on that day. I was on the last shoot day in the last scene. It was so funny with John Ratzenberger as his new young wife.
Wow,
it was a good scene. So I hope we get seen, and I hope everyone who's watching this will support both of us and be excited when we kind of make it, because when anyone makes it within our industry, we all make it.
Yeah.
So I really feel like it's good to share, support, and just, you know, be proud of yourself for what you're doing, and, you know, not to mind what other people are really doing, just to support them or let them be.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Jill. I appreciate your time today on the Global Talkative Series. You know, it's been an amazing. We have about just 2-3 minutes more before the end of the show. I appreciate all this. The globe, from Nigeria, from South Africa, from Birmingham, UK, from Germany. I appreciate you, All Women Ministry. Thank you. Calgary Changemakers, thank you. Andrea, thank you. Dojade Olua, all the way from South Africa. We appreciate you. Abu MEC from Nigeria. Chika Dumegu from Calgary. Adesoji John, thank you. Silver D. Ajayi, Dr. Ajile from Birmingham. Timothy Wesi, Pastor Timo from Nigeria. Imole Ayoshabu from Vancouver. And all those wonderful individuals who have joined us in the course of this broadcast. We appreciate you. And Jill, thank you so much for what you're doing in our community, for your magazine. We're waiting to see the next publication.
I will let you know. I'm working on it hard. We have Jordan Gooden.
Yeah.
He is an amazing talent that I've been working with this year, and he will be on the cover
very soon.
Yeah, so watch out, and thank you. I appreciate you, and we'll talk again.
Yeah, thank you very much. Our viewers, we appreciate your time today, you know, for sticking in with us on this show. We do not take your support for granted, and we're going to be coming again your way in about a day or two with another amazing guest. Until then, this is me, Lanre Ajayi, signing off on today's show. Bye for now, everybody. Bye.
Ciao.